What up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord, Dr. Professor, Dark Joker, here with another edition of Traditional Fans with Opinions, where I'll give my reviews for whoever I watched, read, or played today. And who are Traditional Fans with Opinions? That is myself, and that is you, the viewers. With all that being said, on with the reviews. The beginning after the end, episode 12 and full season. So in this one, Jasmine takes Arthur to an adventurers guild in order to obtain a license from Guildmaster Caspian Bladeheart. Basically, so Arthur just has to do a test to see what class he is, and he uses the alias note in order so that basically his family doesn't deal with any blowback from whatever he does as an adventurer. So during the test, Arthur witnesses, this half elf named Lucas basically being a prick. Tries to attack the examiner after being given a B rank. Arthur blocks the attack. And then, what's revealed is that likely Lucas's mother was an elf who was kept as a slave by his father. Because I guess the Wykes family does some sketchy stuff in order to get sorcerers in the family. And you have someone named Elijah Knight, who's a human raised by dwarves, who basically he is given good enough recommendations where he doesn't need to take a test, so he's given a B rank. And then basically Arthur does his test, and his test Caspian administers it himself and names him B rank. And so basically, it's this is all because you have multiple children being named B rank, which is very unusual. Caspian says due to the restrictions, a lot of restrictions being lifted, it allowed a lot to happen because elves and dwarves are now able to become adventurers, whereas previously it was mainly just humans. So it naturally happened. So after this, Arthur and Jasmine go to this area to train, gather supplies for going somewhere. But then a boar monster just starts rampaging. Arthur tries to fight it. Then his past self tells him to wait, and that allows Arthur to kill the boar. Then Jasmine reveals some of her backstory to Arthur that she wanted to escape her family, the Flamesworth, because basically she did not have fire magic, whereas everyone else in her family does. So basically, they disowned her. Basically, so she ran off to not deal with that. And what's funny is Tessia, I guess, has been spying on Arthur through a crystal ball and is pissed off because he's hanging out with another female. Because I guess you had I mean, because you had the girl whose fantasy stay was so Vincent's daughter, you know Lilia, and then I don't think Tessie was pissed about Eleanor because Eleanor is Arthur's little sister. Then you have Jasmine, so Tessie was pissed. So Tessia's grandfather, who trained Arthur, tells her to why don't you I guess does something on her own, to I guess get better, train. And I guess that's supposed to set up something after this 2 year time skip. So Note, as Arthur has become known as, basically has become a notable adventurer, someone who is very strong. And so yeah, basically supposed to set up what's coming up with the 2 year after the 2 year time jump. I don't know if any of the stuff within those 2 years is going to be covered. I've not read the source material, so I don't know how much it is now. So as far as this episode, I thought it was a fine episode. You know, yeah, I know they're going to do it in season two. Even they were supposed to do it basically in the next core, but they're not. My guess is hopefully it's to fix some of the animation concerns. Like the animation does have concerns. Now the visuals are not the problem outside of like some of the 3D because 3D in anime just always has problems. Now a lot of it's like how a lot of it feels like slideshows and stuff. So yeah, I mean, hopefully it means there's some improvements we made. So I'm interested in what it looks like with improvements. So probably that is what the delay is for. So yeah, I'm interested in what the next core does, like how things will go. I enjoyed this season. For the most part, I read source material, so maybe that's something to do with it. But I agree there is some. I've heard like things some people mention pacing issues. Yeah, I would have liked some of the pacing to be done better, but for the most part, it's fine. It's a fine adaptation. Looking forward to next season. The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch, Season 6, Episode 3. So in this one, the team's investigating the bubble. So one of the tests they use, they basically create a bonfire to see if, it affects any phenomenon. And then like I guess in the smoke in the bonfire, there's like it's almost like there's like a void in it. Then they launch rockets there because of course they're launching rockets. And they find some signals at the 1.6 gigahertz. And then some of the drilling they do is interrupted by some interference, and the data is corrupted. Some signals they don't understand. Then there's a silver ball that appears. Yeah, and then this is like so as far as I was interested in the test the drilling. So there's also drilling being done because how long have been trying to drill this mesa? Yeah, and like so like yeah. So I mean I don't know what they do for it. I can't explain exactly how they handle the drills. I mean I feel like with analog, if they're using more analog stuff, they want to be doing, I don't think, as much interference because it's not really digital. That's just my opinion. Like if they kept things more analog, you know, less, less digital stuff, so leaves less room for interference. And so, like if a lot of that's electronic, if the board operations are more electronic, if that could be what's causing some problems. It's like if it's more mechanical, which you can't really hack mechanical, maybe they have a lot more success because then there's not as much issues like signals causing problems. So and also they just need to wear proper PPE if they're in a potentially high radiated area. Just wear proper PPE. I don't care how it looks on TV. Just wear it. If it is actually highly radiated, they should wear proper PPE. Anyway, I like this episode. Look forward to next week's. Beyond Skinwalker Ranch, Season 3, Episode 3. So in this one, the team goes to, the Florida Everglades. They meet with, Chris Bledsoe, who is claimed to experience various phenomenon. So how they do is they see, because Chris allegedly is able to sense, like, these phenomena. So they try to see if there's anything about him that can cause it to occur, how like he and some other people can like be affected, like like just like get some comparison. And yeah, and I thought it was really interesting. How they compare when the phenomena occurred, well, allegedly occurred, and they're in like the swamp area in the Florida Everglades. About any UAP sightings there. And yeah, I thought it was an interesting way to test it. You have someone who claims to be able to sense stuff, comparing what that guy senses compared to what someone else senses makes sense. Get some data to compare. That was a cool way to test things. And yeah, I like this test. Like this episode. Looks like there's more to this that's going to be done later on. See, so yeah, I like this episode. Look forward to next week's. And that's it. Did y'all like the stuff I reviewed? And if you have your own opinions about all that, you can put all that in the comments. Thank you for watching, and like, subscribe, and all that. And look forward to the next video.